Before we dive in, let's be upfront. The BYD Sealion 7 Performance isn't made to win over everyone. If you still feel EVs aren't ready or you can't live without a certain badge on your car, that's completely fine by me. This review isn't about changing minds, but if you're excited about technology, real-world performance, and getting more for your money, then trust me, you'll want to hear what this has to offer. This is the Sealion 7 Performance all-wheel drive, BYD's flagship electric SUV for Malaysia. Built to take on the likes of the Tesla Model Y, Hyundai Ioniq 5 and a few others, it brings style, power, space and tech together, starting at around 184,000 ringgit and topping out just under 200,000 ringgit. The BYD Sealion 7 comes in two variants, Premium and this one, the Performance. The Premium is a rear-wheel drive SUV with 313 PS, while the Performance is an all-wheel drive vehicle with 530 PS. But the easiest way to tell them apart, look for the 4.5 seconds badge at the back and the red brake calipers. That's how instantly you'll know it's the Performance. Both, however, is designed to look sleek, sophisticated and modern, and honestly, it nails that brief. The BYD Sealion 7 has a really clean athletic look. Designed by Wolfgang Egger, it's got a sleek shape with what BYD calls a bold X-shaped front that gives it presence. BYD says the flowing lines and low, wide stance are inspired by the ocean, and honestly, despite being a bit of a hunker, you can kinda see what they were going for. Even the taillights, BYD calls them water drop style. They're slim, sharp and give it a really modern finish. It's sporty, it's futuristic, but still feels practical enough for daily use. Inside, BYD's attention to detail really shows. The centerpiece, that huge 15.6-inch infotainment screen, and yes, it rotates. It sounds cool and all until you try to put on Android Auto in portrait mode and the car tells you it doesn't support it in that type of screen orientation. So a bit of a party piece, because I think most of the time you'll be in landscape mode. Of course, you get wireless Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, a crisp and also lovely 12-speaker Dyna audio sound system, ventilated Napa leather seats and a full panoramic sunroof, all included without having to tick a million different options. I particularly like the positioning of the wireless charger as it feels natural and in front of the AC vents, helping cool down the phone because wireless charging gets phones all hot and bothered. There's also a small vent with some air coming out to help cool the phone down. The system's pretty intuitive too. Finding things like ADAS settings, drive modes and car info is straightforward. One minor gripe is that the seats don't lower enough to my liking. I find that all China cars like to have their driver's seats higher up. Perhaps it's just me that gets all bothered about this. Also, some might complain they won't be able to see much from the rear windscreen, but it never bothered me really. But honestly, out of all the BYD models available here in Malaysia right now, the Dolphin, the Atto 3, the Seal, this feels like the best interior BYD has delivered so far. The materials, the layout, the features, it genuinely feels a step up and it shows that BYD is taking premium seriously, not just talking about it. Now, while the cabin feels solid and well built, if you're really used to super premium European cabins, Audi, BMW, Mercedes, that sort of thing, you might notice a slight difference in material textures or the way some buttons feel. Also, while most of the cabin feels impressively put together, there's something about the opening latch that doesn't quite match the rest of the premium feel. It sits slightly proud instead of flush and just feels a bit less refined compared to the rest of the car. But what are you paying for here? The value is still seriously impressive. Space-wise, the Sealion 7 offers genuine family practicality. Flat rear floor, proper legroom, even for taller passengers, and ISOFIX points for child seats if you need them. This boot space, 500 liters, easily expandable with the seats down up to 1,769 litres, and you get serious safety too. 9 airbags, full level 2 ADAS, adaptive cruise control, lane keeping assist, rear cross traffic alert, the works. And a nice touch here, the ADAS settings doesn't reset every time you switch the car off. If you customize your lane assist or following the distance preference, they stay remembered, which is small but important quality of life win that some other brands still don't get right. Now, on to one of the big questions with any EV, range. Officially, the Sealion 7 Performance is rated for up to 567 kilometers, but let's be real, that's NEDC figures. In real world Malaysian conditions, you're realistically looking at about 425 to 454 kilometers per full charge. Still very usable and more than enough for KL commutes, weekend trips or even interstate journeys. For daily life, the Sealion 7 also supports up to 11 kilowatt AC home charging. Why is this important? Because with 11 kilowatts, you can easily fully recharge the battery overnight if you start from empty using a proper home wall box. That means you wake up every morning to a full tank without ever needing to visit a petrol station again. And when you're out and about, it supports 150 kilowatt DC fast charging, which can get you from 30 to 80% in just about half an hour. Okay, so let's get on to the important bit, the driving bit. So if you think the performance badge means the ride leans a little firmer than what you get in, say, a Honda CR-V or a Toyota Harrier, no. It's never harsh, it's kind of floaty. The ride is definitely on the softer side. But if you prefer something firmer, it's something worth feeling for yourself during a test drive. That said, however, it's not so soft that you won't have confidence when it comes to cornering. It feels secure and quite flat. For daily drives, the Sealion 7 strikes a very usable balance, I think. Around the city, it's smooth and quiet. On highways, it's impressively composed. Road noise is minimal, even at higher speeds, and that makes it a really relaxing cruiser for both quick commutes and longer road trips. One small thing to note though, regardless of which drive mode you're in, by default, the regen braking system adds a bit of resistance when you're cruising. Best to leave it regen at standard mode if you want to have a smoother ride, more natural coasting experience, and you can change that through the infotainment screen. Performance, well, it's not just in the name. You are looking at 530 PS, 690 Newton meters of torque, all-wheel drive grip, and a 0 to 100 time of 4.5 seconds. Honestly, it is surreal how quickly this SUV can move, quietly, effortlessly, and with a sense of control you'd expect from a much smaller, lighter EV. Cornering is flat, acceleration is instant, and thanks to the all-wheel drive system, even wet highways feel planted and confidence inspiring. Even in standard mode, really, you don't even need it to put it in sports. Now, if you're cross-shopping, and you should, there are a few other EVs in this price range. Tesla's Model Y rear-wheel drive is around the same price, minimalist design, great software, but no Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, and it rides firmer than this BYD. The Xpeng G6 is another interesting new entry, more tech focused, still building its reputation in Malaysia, but you see plenty of them on the road for a reason. Or if you want comfort above all else, the Hyundai Ioniq 5 remains one of the softest, smoothest riding EVs around, but you'll sacrifice a bit on outright performance. At around 200,000 ringgit, the Sealion 7 Performance all-wheel drive offers you flagship level performance, flagship tech, real-world practicality, and most importantly, a genuinely future-ready experience. It's not perfect, no car is, but for drivers who want more than just a badge on the bonnet, for people who believe you can have tech, performance, space, and safety, all without overpaying, this makes a very, very strong case. You're basically getting the same kind of explosive performance you'll find in the Volvo EX30 Ultra Twin, which by the way is an absolute rocket. But here's the kicker, the Sealion 7 Performance gives you all that punch in a bigger, more spacious package, and it costs around 30,000 ringgit less. The BYD Sealion 7 Performance isn't about following trends. It is actually about people that want to move forward smartly, confidently, and with no regrets. And if that sounds like your kind of journey, then this might just be the EV for you.